What is the best way to approach the people that are constantly complaining about their life?
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex. And you know what's been on my mind lately, man? This might be more of like a kind of ranty type episode, you know? But I'm really tired, especially with everything going on in the world right now, right? I'm really tired of people playing the victim, you know?
What do you mean? Like which people?
People that have the same problems as everyone else. Like, not the people that have, like, in poverty or, like, medical crisis. Nothing. I'm talking about, like, regular people, middle of the road, complaining about everything, fam. It's like a victim mentality that people have right now. And I feel like it's just, woe is me, my life is so hard, I work 40 hours a week.
But I can't pay the bills.
It's not that I can't pay the bills. Just work really sucked this week. It sucked so much. I have the hardest job ever. I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, it's literally.
Oh, okay. That was it?
Yeah. Like I'm just tired of that, man.
I mean, are you a doctor? Are people dying on you? Like,
no, it's just like you just have a tough job.
I mean, doctors don't work 40 hours a week, so yeah. That answers that question.
So it's like I had a bad week of work too. I had a bad week of work this week too. I had a terrible week of work. But it's like I'm not just gonna be complaining about my job the whole time.
I thought you were talking about the people who were complaining about the code, like the lockdown situation.
Lockdown situation is a little different. Lockdown affected everybody, but it is a little different. I'm just talking about people that have regular people problems that just want to bitch about it the whole time. I'm really tired of that. Are
they bitching to like their friends and family, or are they bitching to like the government,
to everybody,
the world,
and their friends and family? Not really to the world or the government. I don't see him like going to protest and shit.
Okay.
It's just bitches to the government. It's like, man,
yeah,
my job was so hard this week.
That sounds draining. It sounds like somebody you want to avoid. Really?
No, dead ass. Like, you ever gonna come in with good news or like, you know,
right.
what's up? Like, something good happened to you today?
What are they hoping to accomplish?
I don't know. Like, I'm all good for a vent here and there, man. But it's like
constant venting.
Fam, it's like we all have problems.
Yeah, you can't really dump your emotional problems on people every time you see them like that.
Like we all have.
It's not fair, really.
I'm just tired of it, man. And then there's another group of people that I'm really tired of.
Who?
It's people that want to be oppressed. Like, they want to be oppressed, man.
That sounds familiar. That sounds like something we spoke about before.
Know, it's literally like oppression Olympics. It's like groups that are fighting each other. You'd be like, who is oppressed the most right now? And then you'll have like, I'm a pan POC and an all Southern religious heritage like that. I'm like, all right.
Does that mean that you don't get to complain about?
No, you can complain, but it's like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you don't gotta get into every single group that you fall under,
right?
That has like, you're a lesbian in Alabama, you going through some problems. That's I know. All right, that's cool. I got you. I don't gotta hear like you know what I'm saying. It's like, yeah. I got you. You can vent. Like, you don't have to freaking. It's like, yo, people listen every single thing where they might be discriminated. I'm like, yo,
you know a lot of complainers, man. Is this like social media?
No, it's in general. And there are some people I know in my regular day-to-day life. And there is intersectionality of oppression. Don't get it twisted. Like, there is, but it's like people are fighting so hard. Like, I see this with white people too, fam. Talking about reverse racism, and I'm like, are you?
I thought black people couldn't be racist. Well, that's not white people saying that.
Conversation for another day.
Yeah, that's not white people saying that. But
what the fuck is reverse racism, fam? What is reverse racism? That's a
fantastic question.
Imagine you're a white person. It's like, oh man, you know. Your boy. I remember Trump said this.
My boy.
Yo, there's a show called Blackish. That's racist. If there was a show called Whitish, there'll be uproar. I'm like, bro, you dead ass right now? Like this is what we're doing right now.
Would there be though? but like dead ass.
I don't know. But is this really like? Is this really like your oppression like unifier? Like your symbol?
Yes.
It's like, oh man, you're taking away my freedom. I have to wear a mask outside. You're infringing on my freedom.
So I feel like
Fam.
I get it.
Fam.
I don't know about the reverse racism thing, right? If there's racism, there's racism. I don't know what the Uno reverse looks like. Is it when the oppressed group has more power? I don't know what reverse racism is. But I feel like when it comes to that group of people, there's the idea that if you're mad, you're right. And so if you can prove just how mad you are about these masks and just how mad you are and just how offended you are about the name Blackish, then people was like, well, if he's this mad, he must be right. It must be an issue. And I feel like people know that inherently. And so that's why they push so hard and to make small things look like a big deal just so they can be taken more seriously.
How am I going to take you more seriously if you're complaining about the smallest shit?
Because you're mad. It's small to me, maybe. But if you're this mad, it must be a big deal to you.
But it's not a big deal, fam.
But that's worked in the past.
Like what?
When we talk, like, look at cancel culture. You can get mad at the smallest thing. Look at Aziz Ansari. I forgot it. I might be mispronouncing his name.
Yes. No, I think you said it right. And Master of None, shameless plug. Great show. Just a phenomenal show. It was on hiatus way too long. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Was on hiatus way too long because of the whole article that happened. And that was
for those who don't know,
it was during the Me Too movement.
For those who don't know, you can. I'll break it down for those who don't know. During Me Too, when it was like first starting off, an article was posted. I forgot the publisher. All right.
I forgot it too, man. But it was like a really. Oh man, that's gonna bother me.
I forgot the.
That's gonna bother me.
We'll put an annotation or a link below.
Yeah.
It came out with an article of this woman who went on a date with Aziz Ansari. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name, but she went on a date, and it looks like to me, honestly, and I want to think to any logical person with common sense, there was some miscommunication about their expectations for the date. She ended up back at his house. She tried to leave. He agreed, and she chose to stay. But when she chose to stay, he made moves on her, even though she didn't explicitly said that she was open to moves being made onto her.
Yeah, it was like she didn't say. The thing that happened was like, to break it down, like she didn't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, she did, and then as soon as she did, he got.
That's when he stopped. But it's like complaining that was like sexual harassment or so. Before. It just felt like and this one just really felt like a miscommunication that was capitalizing off the height of the Me Too movement. And
right. It looks like he was reading the room wrong. He tried to make a move and it wasn't the right time. And she took that as sexual harassment, sexual assault. He was a famous guy. Cancel him. It's Me Too. Let's get it done.
But once he said no, he was like, my bad.
That didn't matter though. In the article, that didn't matter because she was mad.
True.
She was upset. And because she's mad and upset, she has to be right. And so this man got canceled.
Yeah, but that's a little more, even if it's, I'll give sexual harassment more serious and assault more serious. I just think, like you said, in this situation, it wasn't that.
It wasn't.
But man, you can be mad about shit, bro. But it's like, how am I gonna take you seriously if you're like, yo, the biggest problem in America right now is reverse racism? Like, how am I gonna take you seriously?
That's how am I gonna take us?
It is a joke to us.
To us.
How am I gonna take that seriously, fam? How am I going to take anybody seriously that's listing 15 adjectives to describe how oppressed they are? I mean, how oppressed they are. I'm a queer person of color from this community, formerly religious, a Catholic household. Like, all right, bro. Like, you don't. I'm not saying that's not right, but it's like at a certain point, I understand what's going on.
Right.
And you don't have to go through every single detail because I understand how they interact with each other.
But
once you say you grew up in a religious household, you're gay or lesbian, and you're also queer and like Hispanic or black or Asian, like, yo, I got.
That's a hard life.
That's a hard life.
Like, no doubt.
But then you just keep going and going and going. It's like, yo.
But then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. It's like what's the point? You listen to every act, like which part of the life do you want me to support you in the most? It's like they're all interconnected, but it's like, am I gonna be able to? Like, how many of there even are you?
What do you mean?
Like in this, like, because when we're going through these like oppression Olympics, it's like people are getting so specific about like how they're oppressed. It's like, damn, I wonder how many people fall in this community. Right? If you say black people are oppressed or black people get killed by police. I'm talking about all black people here. But then if you go to like black Southern, trans, queer, Catholic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yo, this is like, this is
you
just,
and this right?
no, it's just like, so, it's just, and I'm not justifying that it's right or wrong, but it's like, we're trying to get off on the point that you're so oppressed that's not contributing anything to tackling the oppression.
So that, yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like that comes from an age of protesting, right? Where, unfortunately, I think people are starting to be of the mind that the complaining is the work.
Yeah.
And that is the case when it comes to protesting, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you organize a demonstration, you protest and it has effects, right? And so I feel like people look at that and they think, well, all I got to do is complain and the world will change around me. And in some cases, all you can do is protest, right? I get that. But understand that the protest itself isn't like all there is to it. It's not the work.
It's really
even
more
outside of the protesting, there was calls to governors, to senators. There was like working with like nonprofit organizations. There was food drives. There was all that stuff.
Of course.
It wasn't just the complaining that was the work. And I feel like because the protesting is so like high profile and people see that as what's working, all I got to do is protest in my own little world. And maybe that will bring about the change that I want. Okay. And that's seldom the case.
It is, man. I think most people don't realize that.
They don't.
They just don't realize that. It's like,
they don't.
You know, I will look back to like the whole George Floyd thing. You know, Chauvin he was just found guilty, right? And of course, those protests played a huge part. The video played a huge part. But outside of this one cop being found guilty, you had several more police shootings.
Yes, like several.
Like a
lot
more than several. Yeah. And you only had 1 or 2 states that actually made legislation to address the problem, right? You're talking about a case of police brutality and qualified immunity. So now you can sue the police departments that doesn't come out the taxpayers' money, right?
Oh,
that's like, you know, because I believe it was Colorado that made that change.
Oh,
but
word.
I'll look at. And
there's a lot of shootings in Colorado too, so that's dope.
I'm explaining qualified immunity pretty loosely, but it's just kind of stopping police accountability, more to say, right?
Because when they got sued, they weren't really paying for it.
No, because it comes out the city's money,
right?
So you have that situation, right? And now you're talking about take it from the pensions and take it from, you know, police retirement funds, and then you bet, you know, once people have their money affected,
they're gonna change that.
Exactly. So you have those instances, but it only happened in one state. 1 or 2 states, or in a couple of cities. I think Seattle was another city that did the same thing. The progress we're trying to make is not happening because it's just like you're just complaining, right? And that's my issue with so many. And awareness is a big part of the problem. Like becoming aware and making sure this is seen. It's like the same thing with the Asian hate, right? You create a platform, you know, all this stuff is happening, and you're like, okay, you gotta stop Asian hate. You cause awareness. And once you cause that awareness, you turn into legislation.
Ideally.
Yes. And it has happened. There was like a federal bill that just passed recently, and there was like only one senator that voted no, and it was like just some of it's like tracking like social media accounts and stuff like that, but just like
all right things that I thought that they were already doing.
Yeah, an effort to monitor hate crimes against Asians.
Specifically against Asians.
Yeah, specifically against Asians.
Nope.
No.
Nobody else.
I don't know, but I know the intention of that.
Okay.
Of the bill was.
Yeah, I mean they needed the most right now.
No, yeah, and that's fair. That's valid. Like I'm not gonna complain, but my thing is I just hate people that complain to complain, and then we're looking at people that are literally like climaxing at the fact that they're oppressed. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to me.
And so the victim mentality. People with the victim mentality are people who complain but don't do the. What if the people who are complaining about their job were complaining, but they're also saying, yo, I've been trying like every single day all week to apply for other jobs, but nobody's calling me back. Like I'm trying to fix my situation.
But at what point does the complaining even matter, though? So you're in a situation where you hate your job, right? A situation that many people in the country can relate to. Sometimes you can't change the reality of the situation through the economics or social environmental reasons, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. You can't change that. But in the cases where if you can't change that, right?
If you can, okay.
If you cannot change it,
okay.
What is complaining every single day gonna do about that?
I feel like, well, I'm not. All right, this is me personally.
Yeah,
I'm not someone who opens up quite a bit, but from what I hear, having someone to talk to about your problems is a big help.
It is a big help,
right? And this is something that's on your mental every single day, all day. And that's probably all you can think about. It's probably hard to enjoy other things and talk about other things if you're miserable because of this one aspect of your life.
It is, and I'm not saying you can't be miserable. I'm not saying that, but if you're only coming back with the same problems, and if there is a situation where you can't do anything about it, you're venting the same thing every single day. What's that going to do for you? That's not going to do anything for you. And it's also going to make the people around you more miserable, fam.
It will.
You know, it's like, yeah, I'm willing to hear you out. Like, I'm a good friend, whatever. But it's like, yo, every single day you complain. You know, it's like that girl that complains about her boyfriend that cheats on her. Or her boyfriend that hits her. And all her friends are like, yo, he's no good, he's trash.
Dump him.
And then you're back with him next day. And that change, you can't change it too.
Right.
So that's the worst. If you can change it, then why are you complaining so much?
That I don't get.
Like, if you literally can't change, like, yo, fam, we cannot change police brutality right now, right? But we can, like, slowly make efforts at a small scale to cause awareness and to push legislation through. Like, and we can do that.
Mm-hmm. And it's happened. We know that we can do it.
Yeah, it could take a very long time or whatever. But me just saying F the cops all the time,
it's not really constructive, is it?
No, it's not. Like, and I understand the feelings. Trust me, I understand the feelings.
I'm right there with you.
But at a certain time, it's like, yeah, you complain once a month or twice a month about it, yeah. Makes sense, but every single day, and like, and maybe the cops is too extreme an example because people's lives are actually being destroyed, so that's something that's more valid to complain about every single day. But you're talking about like things like, oh, my work is really tough. I had a long week. It's like, you doing that every single day. It's like, nah, I'm not.
I've been in that situation, and to be honest, at a certain point, I just tuned it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to.
You tune it out, and the person keeps talking. I don't know if there's a catharsis that they get from that venting, but I don't think it's the same if you realize that I'm just not really paying attention to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but I think I'm trying to understand the mentality behind the people that are doing all this complaining.
Right, me too. And it's probably better than just keeping everything bottled up, right?
It is, but if you're complaining about the same thing, what does that do for anybody?
But if you keep it bottled up, what is it doing for you?
But is there anything to not bottle up? It's like, yo, my job sucks. And then tomorrow, my job sucks. And the next day, my job sucks. It's like, all right, fam,
but when your job sucks to the point where every single day you wake up and it's really hard to get out of bed, but you do it anyways, and you go to work and you're miserable for 8 hours, and this customer got on your last effing nerves, and you get home and the house is a mess and the chores aren't done, and you still gotta go pick up the kids, and you do that every single day, and it's really weighing on you every single day, and every single day it's like another foot, like just stepping on you. You want to talk about that new foot because that's how it feels every single day.
But is it a new foot though? It sounds like the same problem with the customers complaining all the time or your boss on your ass. It's not really like that different, fam.
It's not different to us.
Maybe it's different to the person that works there, but that's just a day-to-day experience of working though.
Maybe every day is a different problem. Today was a customer, yesterday was a coworker, which is the next day might be like the regional manager,
which is cool, but like I can't figure your life out for you, fam. Right?
You don't have to. Maybe you just gotta be there.
And I am there, but I'm not gonna be there if it's every single day I'm hearing this, or every week I'm hearing this. Like, oh, woe is me. My life is so hard. It's like, okay, your life is hard. I want to be here for you. But now you're just killing my vibe all the time now. It's like, can we find...
What we call that? We call that emotional abuse.
I don't know if I would go that far.
That's what it is.
I don't know if I would go that far.
That's like one of the examples of emotional abuse. You show up and you just ruin somebody's mood. Like you're emotionally or you treat them like an emotional tampon. I've heard that term as well. Yeah. They're just here to soak up all the negative things that you just want to let out, and you just put it right into them as if they have the space in their head for that. They don't have their own problems.
Yeah, like a sponge. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I hear that, fam. But it's these people. We can make the Depression Olympics in a whole different episode. But these are two things I really don't understand, that they're very closely related, I feel, but still not different. We'll have in the Press Olympics episode, but it's why are people trying to so hard to make it seem like their life is tougher? You know what it's like? It's like the rich kid, right? You have like a rich black kid that his parents did well for him, and he never grew up in the hood, right? And now he's acting like he had all the hood problems. It's like, why are you trying to do that for? Are you trying to fit in? Are you trying to like what do you gain out of that, fam? If you're Will Smith, right? And you grew up in Philly, and now you have Carlton Banks who grew up in Bel Air. What does Carlton Banks get out of trying to be like, yo, I'm Will Smith? Like, I had all these problems. Like, you don't get anything out of that.
I guess it depends on what's cool at the moment and what isn't.
Even
right? Being rich is cool in its own space.
Yeah.
But if Carlton went to Philly, right, and him being Carlton and growing up in Bel Air, he hasn't really had that experience, that exposure yet. Maybe it behooves him to act like they act in Philly. When in Rome, do as the Romans, right? That's how the saying goes? Yeah, that's how the saying goes.
But it doesn't make sense because you don't have those experiences to fall back on.
You don't.
So now you're trying to pretend to be like, it just feels like a really shitty thing to do for me, fam. Because you're pretending to be part of like something that's not really happening to you.
Yes, but humans will go to a very long lengths to feel like they fit in.
I get that, fam, but it's like, yo, imagine just play this example for me, right? We go to a group every single week where and there's actually a show on Netflix about this, actually. Wow. I watched this. It's a show on Netflix with like Will Ferrell produced this with these two chicks that you'll probably recognize their faces. I think one of the chicks' name's like Samantha something, like a famous woman. So you have this support group for widows, and then you find out one of the chicks in that support group is not a widow, right? It's like, what the fuck are you doing here, fam? It's like at that point, it's just so messed up for you to be here when you're not actually like, I think it's like you said, divorce or something. It's like,
so at that point, she's looking for sympathy to fill a void that she's feeling in her life from another place.
Yeah, right? And even if it is from being divorced or broken up with or whatever, acting like the whole world's against you just does not make any sense to me, and I really cannot stand
Getting sympathy feels good.
Getting sympathy does feel good.
It feels like you're cared about, like you're important to other people. If they can see just how bad you have it, maybe they want to be in your life more. Maybe they want to support you more and ask you how you're doing more. And, you know, like it probably feels like when people are in need, when you see someone in need, in dire need, they get the GoFundMe, they get the attention, they get the you know.
But that's different though, you know. Like,
but that's kind of like going to a widow support group when you're not a widow.
That's just very manipulative. I feel like when you have a GoFundMe for a certain reason, people support you because they feel sorry for you, which is not the same as I'm gonna. It's like me, right? Let's say I have 50K in student loan debt, right? Now I go beat myself up and say I got beat up by cops. Can you GoFundMe to pay my medical bills? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's different though. You did it to yourself.
All right, so even if it wasn't cops, say I got into like a car accident that was my fault, and it's like, hey, my medical bills is this, when it's really I'm trying to cover my student loans.
And
it's like disingenuous.
You have to put your sob story in there though. You have to be like, I got all these student loans.
Yeah. No.
My rent's due. You know, my mom's sick. You know, my dog is sick. My sister needs to go through school and all that stuff. You put your whole sob story in there. Can you support me?
Yeah.
The car accident was your fault, but you put the sob story in there, and you're hoping that sob story will get you the attention and support that you want, that you probably need at that point. But that's the thing. At that point, it's a want, right? It's not a need.
Yeah, and it's just...
And I feel like some people feel that pathological need for attention, for sympathy.
It could be, but it's just so strange to me. I don't get it. There's so many problems going on in the real world, and problems that we all share, and problems that we don't all share, right? You have these problems that impact you, and you want to vent, you want to complain, and you want to do something about it. I'm all here for you, fam.
But victims get special attention.
Because they deserve it, though.
Right, but if you can portray yourself as the victim, you get special attention, and that could be
Special-
something that picks you up in a miserable life.
No, but special attention you don't deserve though.
They don't know that.
It's hollow.
They don't know that.
Fam, the attention you're getting is hollow because it's not for the reason that you thought it was gonna be for.
And but in your situation, it is though, because if my job really really sucks and I really really hate it, even though to other people it might be like, yeah, I get it, you hate your job, change it, but like I have a hard time finding a job, I don't have any of the skills, yada yada yada. I haven't developed any of the skills. In the moment that I'm in right now, getting special attention, getting sympathy, getting emotional support could make me feel better. It could brighten up my day.
It could brighten up your day, fam. But when brighten up your, like, how long is that? When you're a victim, how long does the victim attention even get? Right, like that thing, like
For as long as you're a victim.
It's like the boy who cries wolf. Like, you're not just gonna keep coming back every single time. You're
That's
not.
true.
You're not.
That's
And that's
true.
the thing. It's like
That's
being
true.
a victim. Like, you talk to any victim of like abuse or whatever. It's like, I'm sure if they got support, it's like the support really helped me get through.
Mm-hmm.
But you ask them, hey, would you rather got the support or would you rather just not been the victim? I would have just rather not been the victim.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like people just don't have this. People are like, yo,
I want to be the victim.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, fam. And it's really troubling that so much of this is going on with either quote unquote reverse racism or like, you're taking away my rights, American. Like, yo, I gotta wear. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, what are you talking about? You're trying so hard to be like the world is against me when it's not.
But in that situation, being a victim has more advantages than disadvantages. If you actually had a crime perpetrated against you and you're actually a victim, the support isn't going to take away what you lost. And at that point, you have more disadvantages, right, than advantages. But if
the crime never happened to you,
crime never happened, or is like
and
really
you're still going there,
really like inconsequential, you get to be the victim and you get so much support and attention that the good of the situation outweighs the bad. And that's why people want to selectively be a victim. I want to be a victim in the fact that I hate my job, but I don't want to be a victim in the fact that I was raped.
Yeah, it's just like, let's hear how that sounds. It's just so wrong.
It is.
It's so wrong. And I'm just...
But the reasons behind it, I don't want to say the ends justifies the means, but the reasons behind it is because people crave, I guess when you're miserable, you either want other people to be miserable with you.
Misery loves company.
Right.
That saying exists for a reason.
Or you want people to, you want people to feel bad for you, for your situation.
But they feel bad for you, but that doesn't change your situation. So at the end of the day, you're still gonna be miserable, fam. Like like this is what I'm trying to get across. You're complaining about stuff, and either like the people are giving you attention that you're complaining about. That attention can make you feel good, but the root of the problem that's making you miserable is still there. The attention is not. The attention might subtract from your misery, but your misery is still there.
And I'm here trying to understand this, right? But so in that situation, the misery could be worth it, given the attention and the sympathy that you're getting.
No, it's never worth it. The misery's not worth it. It's like it's more of the attention is more of a coping mechanism.
Have you ever seen Scream 4?
Nah.
Do you care about it at all? Do you care about spoilers?
No. You can spoil it. But
Well, the people who care about it probably like tune out the next 30 seconds. In Scream 4, the villain... So, first of all, the protagonist for all the Scream movies is the same. Throughout the movie, she grows up, goes to high school, college, her life, her job. In the last one, Scream 4, she has a job and she has a niece. Her niece is now suffering what she suffered herself. There's somebody killing like the people close to her. Turns out the entire time her niece was the killer, and she just wanted the fame and the attention that the protagonist got when she was the victim. And so the Scream 4 is actually like almost like a perfect example of this. Because she wanted to be the victim so bad because she wanted the fame and the attention and the sympathy of people, and she wanted the world to revolve around her. Everyone to make sure that she was good.
yeah.
Right? And so that is where I'm coming from when I'm like, I understand the need, like the want for it, the desire for it. Everybody wants to be the main character of the world. Everybody wants to be.
Of course.
And if you can become the main character of this personal little world that you have, where everything revolves around you and people want to make sure that you're good, that, did anyone check up on Alex? Alex hates his job. What are we doing about this? Like, I feel so bad for him. Like, he looked really stressed out yesterday, you know what I'm saying? And their conversations and their feelings just revolve around you. Then you might feel like, wow, I'm pretty important. Like, I hate my job, but I matter to these people. to the people around me, and it could be that people are looking for.
Yeah, but that doesn't last though. Like it doesn't.
It doesn't. But I don't feel like
that's the whole like if no matter if you're a victim for how long, but like as time goes on, you're not gonna get the same sympathy you got when whatever happened to you happened.
No. Oh, but then the story changes though, doesn't it? It's always something.
That's even worse.
It's always something. I saw this meme the other day, and it was this chick saying, "Oh, you went to public high school? Tell me who was the girl that was always pregnant, or who faked being pregnant." She said that, right? Then it was a response to it, and it turns out the girl who's saying, "Tell me who was always faking being pregnant," actually faked like multiple pregnancies throughout high school for no reason at all.
It's crazy.
Just for attention. And every time she faked it, the story changed. One time, oh, the baby got adopted. One time, oh, my mom forced me to abort it. The other time, oh, I had it, but it got taken by my uncle because he didn't think I was prepared to raise it. Like the story changed every time, but she was always the victim. So it was always something. And so every single time, people had something new to feel bad for her for.
Which is cool.
Which made her very important in high school, I'm guessing.
It did.
In her mind.
But as time goes on, the sympathy will wane. Because everyone has their own problems.
I agree. And I feel like the people who do this don't have the foresight to realize that.
Maybe they don't, but this whole I'm a victim or no one should ever want to be a victim, fam.
If the benefits outweigh the bad, no one should ever want to be a victim. I'll just agree with that.
What are the
if the price you pay to be a victim isn't as steep as the attention.
The only time I can ever imagine I want to be a victim is if I get hit on a school campus and my student loans get canceled, bro. That's the only time I want to be a victim, fam. Right?
Or when you get into a car crash and it's not your fault.
But then it depends on how bad the injuries are. Right, I'm saying I'm joking about I get hit on a school campus, but if I lose my leg, it's not worth it.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? This is the whole.
But you hear people talk all the time that if you get hit by a car, don't get up. Everything hurts. Like people say that all the time. You have to play the part to get the
that's at least this person's getting some money. At least at least you making some bread off this, bro. There's other stuff you just get attention for.
It was an ex that I had, and her aunt had got hit by a car in the church parking lot. Like the car was backing up and it hit her, and she fell. And she's like, no, she got up. I was like, why'd you get up? What do you mean you were fine? Don't you know what you have to do when this happens? Your back hurts. Your ankle's twisted.
You can't do that in the house of God, man. Come on, bro.
Maybe that's what she did.
Come on, man. You can't do that in the house of God, bro. Come on, man.
She's actually a Christian. That's proof. That's proof that woman was a Christian. For real. I guess I'm not.
Oh, Phil. I don't know how we eradicate this problem, but
it's human nature. I feel like
the people who are doing this if there's someone in your life that's watching this right now, and you think they might have some of these tendencies, that attention eventually wanes, man. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that attention waning, your misery has forced other people to step back from you. Yes, because you're killing the vibe. It's like people are having fun or whatever. It's just like I'm always coming in with negative news or negative attention.
But no one outwardly says that, though. The people that are pulling back from you aren't saying, yo, I'm not. And they should.
Why aren't they saying it, though? I feel like it's kind of tough to be like, yo.
Because you don't want to you don't want to kick somebody while they're down. Exactly. Right?
Yeah. it is like, maybe in theory it is easier to
just pull back without saying nothing. But you also have to make them realize that you have boundaries. Like I said, you don't want to be somebody's emotional tampon.
I'm so intrigued why you want tampon instead of sponge.
That's just the term. I didn't coin the term. I've just heard it. I guess tampons are less desirable to be. And you can be a sponge. Like people use sponge in like a positive connotation. Like children are sponges. They just soak in everything.
I guess.
But nobody wants to be a tampon.
I got it.
I don't want to say nobody because I know there's some people out there who.
Stop.
I'm not gonna go on that tangent. I'm not hitting that tangent.
Stop that right now.
I'm gonna stop that right now.
Stop that right now, man.
But there is boundaries, and I feel like people, you don't want to kick somebody while they're down, but I feel like it's important to say, and I feel like men do this actually more than women do. Women are more empathetic generally. I feel like a man like, yo, every time I talk to you, you complain about this shit, bro. If you hate your wife, just fucking divorce her, bro. Like I feel like a guy would say that. I don't feel like women would be as readily, capable of doing that. But I feel like it would be important for that complainer to realize that you're not affecting these people in the way that you think you're affecting them. They're not really feeling bad for you, and they're not really basing all their external conversations around you. They're just really trying to make plans without you.
Yeah.
And you might not realize that. And if you do, and you realize that the support and the sympathy and the importance is waning, your measures for victimhood might get more and more extreme, to the point where it ends up like, spoiler alert for Scream 4, like the niece in Scream 4, where you went so far as to stab yourself and to kill your mom to be a victim.
That's just don't even sound right.
It don't. But I recommend the Scream movies to everyone. They always touch on like a really important social aspect, like in the backdrop. And for that one, it was that everyone's pathological need for attention. I feel like that was the theme behind that movie, and it's true. People love attention these days, especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why so many people are complaining so much nowadays. It's much harder to get attention from complaining than actually getting achievements and getting attention for that. That's hard to do. You have to work like long days, long nights without really nobody knowing for that. But if you complain, you get that right away at no cost.
Man, oh man, I don't even know what the question is today, man. I had to get some stuff like, what is the best way to approach the people that are constantly complaining about their life?
The best way, right?
The best way, right? You don't want to kick them while they're down, but you also want to have them have some awareness,
right?
That lets you know, it's like, hey, I know things are hard. I know you need to vent sometimes, but you're also making the people around you a lot less happy.
Right.
Right? So it's like, that's the question I got. How do we, in a constructive and caring way, let these people know that, yeah, we care about your problems. We want you to be happy.
We want to help. But you're not really telling us how to help, or...
Yeah, and you keep coming back with the same problems that don't do nothing.
Maybe we did help. Maybe we did tell you what to do, what to say to your boyfriend next time he, throws a bottle at your head, but you didn't do it. And now you're complaining about it again.
Sick, man. Anyway, the Opinion Factory Podcast, find us on Apple, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, share with your friends, your family, and most importantly, the people that complain in your life the most, and the people that get complained to the most. Thank y'all for listening.
We'll see you guys next week.